Come on. Come on. Come on. You know what? Why am I sitting here in the dark? Let's get some light in here. Yeah, perfect. So I'm working, and most of working involves waiting for render previews to finish, so. I wanted to make a vlog to talk about this for a while, but like mostly just because it's just like an open thought and a question, rather than something that I feel confident enough to try and make an answer for in essay form. Though lately I've been getting less and less confident to do that too, but that's besides the point. I had this thought last month about like kids TV and kids TV show characters and the kind of icon status we subscribe to a lot of that stuff, and how a lot of that stuff is sacred, so to speak. I guess as a kid it's sacred to you at least, or at least it was to me for a little bit, and I guess the thing I wanted to talk about is the kind of disconnect and like kind of uncanny feeling that comes with that stuff being disturbed. I'm going to use Scooby-Doo as an example because I think Scooby-Doo is a pretty clear, perfect, like, you know, oh, it's an icon, you know, who doesn't know who Scooby-Doo is, right? I hope you know. When you're watching Scooby-Doo, even as a kid, like, you know that no one's gonna die. Nothing bad's gonna happen to the Scooby Gang. But then as you get older, like, you start to see stuff where older people and people that make more adult content are trying to contextualize that, and they make their own versions of that where bad stuff happens to the Scooby Gang. Robot Chicken is, of course, the thing I'm thinking of. I think a lot of Robot Chicken is actually like that, because it's just, you know, smashing, you know, children's characters together in, like, an unorthodox way that's really upsetting. Like, there's just something super upsetting to me about taking something that you're told as a kid is safe, and then just doing something adult and outside of that promise with. My question is there a name for that? Is it like an actual phenomenon? Is it something other people are experiencing? Is it something that like makes people feel uncomfortable? Because like it makes my skin crawl sometimes. Like it makes me really it makes me tense up. I think about it all the time. You know, Mario and Vice City, which is also Robot Chicken. A lot of YouTube stuff also puts characters in that situation.
I have a lot of good memories.
Oh, my video just finished rendering. You know, and online stuff especially kind of makes it so that anybody can make that kind of material, right? You know, let me actually, yeah, sure. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of animations I've consumed over the last 8 or so years from YouTube that are just people making parodies of stuff that they watched when they were kids. And some of the stuff is, you know, intentionally upsetting. The shows and the stuff that it comes from so clearly frame these characters and these events as untouchable. I'm getting a FaceTime call. Hang on. But yeah, kids shows have such an inherent untouchability to them, a lot, at least pretty often. You know, there's some times where a show will kind of pull itself out of that and kind of imply more as it goes on, or as it's spun off, or as other things happen to it. And I think that's also really interesting and neat. But I guess when you're like a really young kid and are exposed to like the really young kid shows, you know, like the ones that kind of solidify themselves as, you know, things will pretty much reset by the end of this episode. So, you know, there's no change there. Like, when you introduce change in that drastic a way, it just suddenly becomes, like, really unsettling, I think, to me. I don't know. And it's not just violence either. Violence is the first one I always go to because, like, it's obviously the most jarring. Like, you know, you don't expect these characters to die, but it's also other stuff, like other adult stuff, like sexual stuff tends to, I think, be this thing that when you see it happening to children's characters, which thanks to the internet and shipping stuff, you know, it's possible to see it. What is this vlog? Is this a thing that people feel? Is this like something that like people actually are talking about beyond like a cursory just kind of, oh, you know, I don't like seeing SpongeBob cut into pieces.
You mean like this?
In a way that like doesn't, in a way that he won't like come back to get, you know what, that was the worst example I could have ever used. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think it's actually really cool that people in my generation and the generation directly above it, the second maturity hits, we want to kind of start contextualizing the stuff that we grow up watching. You know, we're able to just kind of look at something and go, you know, oh, what if that, but adult. It's weird that we're trying to turn something into an adult story, but a good kind of weird, I think. I think it's cool to see somebody like try and contextualize their own history. I don't know if the stories themselves are that great. I don't really think that matters. I think it's like, you know, what are we doing? Why are we doing that? That's cool. But yeah, that's just been on my mind for a little bit. You know, I think that like Scooby-Doo, Jason Voorhees, Robot Chicken crossover thing was like a big turning point for me in the way that I watched stuff as a kid, and I was wondering if anybody else had that kind of transitionary period. Like, was there a point as a kid where you would just watch TV and you knew everything was generally going to be okay at the end of every episode, and then something happened to you or you saw something else that basically kind of turned that entire notion on its head? Was there a television-based trauma? Wow. So yeah, let me know in the comments. It was just a question I had more than anything. I have zero answers. I have no idea why I feel this way. And I would love to see if there's actually been any conversation about this. I would love for you guys to school the shit out of me on this because I don't know anything.